Begin in moments, and we have so much to cover. And we'll jump right into it in just a minute. Okay. We'll be live in just a moment, guys. Stand by. All right, I'm going to start the other feed in just a moment and doing a sound check. All right, I'm going to start the other feed. Good. Okay, I got a new mic I'm using. This one right here. It's a brand new mic I'm using for the first time today. I just want to let you guys know, I'm going to start the other feed in just a moment. If you're watching with the green behind me, you'll want to switch over to the other feed so that you can hear the audio sound bites and see the videos and everything, okay? So here we go. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Brian Craig Show, where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome, one and all. And, you know, President Trump, he posted this incredible image of himself on Truth Social, and people are just on the left are just going nuts over this, and that's why I'm doing this program right now. This image and this post that President Trump put on Truth Social, I said I gotta go live. I gotta do a live stream. This is amazing. So now a lot of you may be too young to remember Apocalypse Now. Robert Duvall, and probably his greatest role, well, he was very good in The Godfather, don't get me wrong, but he just had this crazy scene, and this image of President Trump, for those of you that don't know, is a AI-generated image based on Robert Duvall from Apocalypse Now, and there's a very famous line that Robert Duvall has. It says, "I love the smell of napalm in the morning." So President Trump, he has this incredible photo of him. Instead of Apocalypse Now, it's Shypocalypse Now, Shy from Chicago. And he writes, "I love the smell of deportations in the morning. Chicago about to find out why it's called the Department of War." And then the president put 3 helicopter emojis at the end there. This is, you know, why we love Trump. I mean, this is everything we voted for. And, you know, a lot of people, they just don't understand. And most people do understand, because President Trump did win the popular vote. So let's not forget that. He won the popular vote for his second and non-consecutive term here. He won every battleground state. His poll numbers now, think about this. President Trump's approval ratings are higher today than Barack Obama's were at the same point in his second term. Isn't that something? And being the first black president goes a long way, but he wasn't as popular as President Trump. Now, you wouldn't know that based on how the media and everything act and react and report and everything, but that's true. And, you know, why we love Trump, there's a lot of reasons why we love Trump. But President Trump is the first president in any of our lifetimes that's putting us and our country first. Every other president, even Ronald Reagan, put other countries first. You know, Ronald Reagan was a good president, don't misunderstand me, and he was responsible for the collapse of the Soviet Union, although we're having a lot of headaches with Russia now that we wouldn't be having if that had not happened. right? Ukraine would be part of the Soviet Union still. But who knows if there would have been some other wars, though, in between. Who knows? But what Ronald Reagan did was great so far as bringing down the Soviet Union. But, and here you got to go, here's the but. But who did that help? Who did that help? It helped us to some extent, I guess, but mostly it helped the people of Russia and in Eastern Europe, right? The countries that were behind the Iron Curtain, Czechoslovakia, East Germany, all that stuff. And you look at all the other presidents, even if of our lifetime, you look at the other presidents of any of our lifetimes, can you name something major that a president did that was for the American people? That was really major. No, they were always putting others first, except Trump. And, the deportations, of course, sometimes you feel bad for some of the people, right? Some of them are here for an opportunity, better life. We have the greatest country in the world and all that. I get it. But the illegals have been such a drain on our country, right? We all know about the crime. They're a major drain on the entire justice system, from the police all the way through our prison system, our hospital system, our education system. Not even talking about the people that they're killing and doing other crimes too. They put stress on the entire infrastructure of the country. What I mean by the infrastructure, and depending on how many and what part of the country you're in and how many illegals are there, they tie up traffic, they're pulling off the water, they're pulling off the electric grid. They're taking jobs like the 450 at that Hyundai plant in Georgia that was just raided by ICE the other day. They take so much, and so many of them, they're crowding our classrooms. So many of the illegals they're just a drain on everything, including the finances of the country with the Medicaid fraud and all these things that have been going on. And, the American people are the hardest working people in the world, really. Americans work a lot. That's part of our lifestyle. But think about it. How much of our work is going to illegals? A lot, right? And the southern border has been a problem for decades. It's not new, but it's not a problem now. We have. I want you to think about this. We have had problems and dispute from the time there was a Mexican border, and what I mean by the time there was a Mexican border with us, after Texas became a part of the United States, there's never been a time that we have not had a problem with the Mexican border. It's always been a problem. We fought a war with them. Okay, it's and this constant invasion that's been going on all of our lives. And, while we all knew that there was a problem at the border, no one did anything about it until Trump. In fact, no one even intended to do anything about it until Trump. Just like the crime problem in the major cities, Chicago, he's going there, with the deportations. See, the crime in Chicago, there's a lot of negative stereotypes about the crime in Chicago. And most people wrongly believe that the crime in Chicago is a black thing. Chicago is about evenly split when you talk about the crime between black and Hispanic criminals, black and Hispanic gangs. And a lot of the Hispanic gang members are illegals that are in Chicago. So to rid Chicago of the crime epidemic, with a big city like that that's all spread out, what President Trump's talking about doing here is using ICE and doing the deportations first. That's a great way to start doing it. You're isolated in one group, although it's a large group in Chicago, and round them up and start doing mass deportations. What is wrong with that? Why should that not be done? Exactly. You can't make a case against it. This Hyundai plant where President Trump created 450 new jobs, right? Remember, every illegal that is deported is a new job created. That was not just a regular Hyundai plant. That was a technically advanced EV plant where they make their EVs and everything. That's a high-level, high-paying job, or at least it used to be, and maybe it will be again. So, people here on the weekend, it's a Saturday, and President Trump posts this on True Social. You can tell just on X how excited people are to see this post and this photograph of himself that he put up there, because we have someone who's fighting for us, right? He's fighting for us. That's why Trump's so popular. That's why people love him so much, because he's out there doing things for us. And by the way, the deportations help the illegals too, because as I was talking about on the stream this morning, in that Hyundai plant, they were slaves. So if you'd like to call in, please do. You're welcome to do so. I got a lot that I'm going to cover today. I'll take some calls. The number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. It's pinned in the live chat. If you're watching live, you can see the number pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good afternoon or good evening for you, Brian. It's Job for 9 in California.
Hey, what's up?
I am so I'm so excited about that meme. That was so absolutely hysterical. And I cannot wait for him to go into Chicago and get rid, or to start putting people where they need to be, and that's not here.
Yeah. Why is that even controversial?
Democrats don't. I don't understand it. Democrats don't care about illegal aliens. Okay, they're using them for exactly what they claim everybody else in the Republican Party is racist or what have you, or whatever. They're being utilized as pawns. That guy who's going to his new home's going to be in Africa is a fantastic example, because guess what?
Oh, the Maryland man, yes, yeah,
yes, and guess what? Now he's completely, pardon the expression, screwed. I mean, he was in Venezuela at one point at a lower security facility playing video games and stuff like that. That wasn't where he was originally. And he looked like he was eating well and enjoying himself.
The Maryland man, they're sending him to a prison in Africa in a country I've never heard of before. I can't remember the name of it. It used to have another name. It was
Swahili or something.
It used to be Swaliland or something like that, and they've changed the name to something else. And it can't be a good place to be in prison.
No, and the funny thing is that because of all of this, he's going to go after everybody, whether you're maybe if you're DACA, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And if these people honestly cared about immigrants, about illegal immigrants, pardon me, because we have to be specific, because words have meaning. They would tell them to self-deport and do it the right way. This country is so fantastic and wonderful. The only thing that we're asking you to do is to be identified, to get a Social Security count number, so that you can be part of doing everything else that everybody else does, because you utilize all those services. Last thing, I tried to call in this morning. I was at work for your show earlier, so forgive me. Don't forget when that man was initially arrested. It was in 2019. Who was the president in 2019?
Are you talking about Epstein?
Trump was.
Yeah.
He already saw the files the first time. He already knew what was in it. That's why he ended up saying that it was a hoax, because what was presented to him a second time, he knew what he was seeing.
Yeah.
So miss me with all of that stuff.
That's okay.
Thank you. You're doing a fantastic job.
Well, I appreciate it. Good to hear from you. And it's nice to hear a voice of reason from Gavin Newsom's California.
Because he's going to lose too.
Oh, yes.
California had a Republican governor. This country is being bankrupt by these people. These people like Newsom and all these other people should be prosecuted for treason.
Just as an example, the illegals use the emergency rooms of America as a free clinic, and they go in there and they get X-rays and expensive scans and everything. They jack up the bill and then charge the taxpayer.
The other thing too, because I work in that setting. I also work in a correctional sort of setting, providing medical care.
Yeah.
You think the issue in regards to commercial truck driving is an issue? They're out in our streets all over the place.
That's right.
And a lot of them don't have the laws that we do.
Not so much anymore, though. Not so much anymore. Things are changing.
No, drunk driving.
Oh, drunk driving,
they drink
yes.
and they drive.
That's correct.
And
yeah.
it's extremely dangerous.
That's right. Well, listen, I appreciate the call. Thanks so much, and I agree with everything. I agree with everything you said. I couldn't disagree with the thing that lady said. Could you? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right, you missed your chance. All right, let's see here. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is David.
Yeah, David.
I'm calling from California.
David in California. What's up?
Yeah, so basically, for the last 10 years, last 15 years, you've seen it in Europe, but they progressives and liberal Democrats and, I guess communists, they've been weaponizing immigration as a tool to dismantle essentially the infrastructure of every Western Anglo-Saxon Protestant Christian nation, and it's pretty clear to see. I was born here. My parents are Korean, and it's pretty clear for me to say and see. And I think as a non-white person, I actually have the privilege, I guess, to actually speak out clearly without any kind of overt, ethnocentric.
Well, you can see it. The United Kingdom has fallen. It's an Islamic country now.
Yeah,
that's it.
It is.
It's no longer a Christian nation.
And it's when we look at the people, this was planned, right? So like I think the number of rapes that went up from 2,500 per year in the UK in 2002 to over 70,000 in 2022 alone. 70,000 cases.
Yeah.
And they actually are telling the parents not to even report it if it happens to their child because they don't want there to be a racial backlash.
That's right.
So that means it's basically state-sanctioned rape.
It's sad.
And it's
I mean, I'm sure you may have seen. I saw the photograph of the new Home Secretary for the United Kingdom. It's a Muslim woman in traditional Muslim garb. I mean, it's just ridiculous. She's in charge of the. They're trying to do that here. That's why it's so important that Mamdani does not become the mayor of New York City. It's a bad first step. Into what happened to England.
It's not a good step. But I think if you look at the historical trajectory, ever since the Republicans freed the slaves, the Southern Democrats basically said, we're going to destroy the country.
Yeah.
And so they had the Civil War.
Yep.
And then they had to be, after Juneteenth, they had to be told, no, you really have to let your slaves go. And they said, okay, you want the slaves? They called the white Republicans, they called them black Republicans.
That's
because they said, well, if you love black people so much, we're going to make you pay for them.
Yeah.
All right. So here, you know what? We're going to just, okay, now they're going to.
You're pretty well informed for living in California, I must say. The thing about the Democrats, the American Civil War was the Democrat insurrection against the federal government. And the reality, I've believed this for many years, it never ended. They've been since they fired on Fort Sumter. The Democrats have been trying to destroy this country. Well, listen, I welcome you're new to the program. Well, I welcome to the program, and I got to tell you, not to stereotype, but when I go to California, the first thing I do is I go to a Korean barbecue. I love California Korean barbecues. Oh my goodness, my favorite food.
We just came back from one.
Yeah, there you go. It's exactly.
So
we have them in Florida, but they're not the same thing, man. My daughter was living in Los Angeles for a few years, and first thing, K barbecue. That's it. You got to go. Yeah, see, they're good.
Florida's really beautiful, so.
It is. It is. All right, take care. What was your first name again?
Thank you. David
from California. All right, good to talk to you. Thanks so much. What a nice guy from California. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm a child of a illegal immigrant, and I actually want to know.
I'm sure. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from with that accent? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay. Thanks so much. If you're on hold, hang in there. I got a few other things I want to cover before we go back to the phones. But that is a very good reason to be supporting our great President Trump. A few things here. I want to play a little bit of JD Vance. JD Vance, very important man. Oh, by the way, I meant to say I didn't do the proper setup. JD Vance is talking about Elon Musk, and he wants Elon Musk to come back into the MAGA fold. Wow. Yeah, he was. Yeah, there's a lot to be said for that. And, the thing about Elon Musk, I mean, do you agree or disagree that he obviously had some type of mental break? Elon Musk, the way he behaved, he had some kind of mental break of some kind. And I don't want to hold that against him. I'd like to see him back on board. He was very helpful. And but the reason I share this was not so much about Elon. It's about JD Vance. And he's the heir apparent. I mean, he's the sitting vice president. And right now he's the favorite to be the second MAGA president. Who would you like to be the second MAGA president first? JD Vance or Marco Rubio? JD Vance or Marco Rubio? I like them both a lot. For Marco to get the nomination, they'd have to skip over JD Vance, and it just doesn't seem like that's in the cards to me. I've really grown on JD Vance. I mean, I knew who he was and knew a little bit about him before he joined the campaign and became vice president, but I've been pretty impressed with him as vice president. Much better than that snake, right? Pence? Oh, Pence was the worst. I never liked Pence. I used to talk about that on the show. I never trusted Pence. Even before everybody else started hating on him. I get a lot of grief from people. I never liked Pence. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, I'm hoping you don't hang up on me this time, but I'm wondering why you think it's okay for Trump to run for a third term. If you're listening to me regularly,
you're
wearing a Trump 2028.
I'm sure you've heard me say this. This hat that I'm wearing, as I often say, I bought this from the Trump official store, and Trump actually sells these Trump 2028 hats in the White House gift shop.
That's an act of treason.
No,
that's an act of treason.
The Congress can amend the Constitution to allow.
But they haven't.
But they could.
But they could, but they haven't, and you would need a 60-person vote. Mm-hmm. You're not getting that. Yeah, you would need a 60-person vote. Then what are you worried about then? Then why
are you so triggered? Why are you so triggered by my hat then?
I'm not triggered.
Yeah,
I'm wondering
you sound unhinged.
Trump people think it's okay to advocate for treason.
It's not treason. It's not treason.
It is.
No, it's not.
Definitionally, it is.
I'll give you an example. Okay, the Constitution's been amended 27 times if you include the Bill of Rights.
FDR had 4 terms.
Okay.
FDR is my favorite
I'm not talking
president.
about FDR. It took a constitutional amendment to give women the vote in 1920. Was it treason?
Yeah.
Was it so the suffragettes?
No.
Were they committing treason by advocating to change the Constitution to allow women to vote?
Advocating for it, no. But voting, yes. Theoretically, yes. That would be true.
Okay, all right. I appreciate the call. I mean, I don't understand why just the idea of Trump being able to run again is so triggering to people. I don't get it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's William from Monroe, Georgia. How you doing?
All right, William.
I'm wondering two things about JD Vance. Have you seen the movie Hillbilly Elegy?
Yeah, I did.
So,
yes.
Are you disappointed with all the way these liberals are coming talking shit about it after, he became president?
I saw the movie when Trump first announced that JD was going to be his running mate. I watched the movie. It was on Netflix. Maybe it still is. And then I also got the book, but then I didn't really read it. I got the audiobook and I listened to the entire audiobook too, the full thing. And it's really impressive.
So you agree it's something special, right?
JD Vance is, I can say this because I'm white. JD Vance was born poor white trash. Hillbilly is a nice way to say it. And his mother, who's highly intelligent, had some problems and never had was very, very poor. And he came from as poor as you can be, and he's going to be the second MAGA president probably, and he's vice president right now, and he's a self-made millionaire. It's an amazing story, JD Vance. It's a Rocky story.
Now, I've slowly become more of a JD Vance fan than Trump in some ways. I think on some things,
that's crazy.
Trump is sort of
don't get crazy. Don't get crazy.
Well, I think stuff that sort of stood JD up on things, and I was just wondering, when were you going to get that sand out of your vagina?
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah, when were you going to get that sand out of your vagina?
When you tell a joke and it bombs, it doesn't make it funny if you say it over again, right? You got to be a little more sophisticated than that. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Jason. I'm from Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to know, what do you think about Trump saying that Americans want a dictator?
That was called sarcasm. That was called a joke.
No.
Yes,
he does this over and over again.
I didn't hear it over and over. I heard him say it once.
It's not a joke.
I heard him say it once. He was laughing. It was a funny joke. He was trolling idiots like you.
He said it today.
Well, then he was joking again.
Okay.
I didn't hear him say it today, but it's called humor.
I don't know why it was a genuine question.
And I answered it.
Look, you've been nice to everybody else.
I answered your question.
And you called me an idiot.
Well, because you are.
And you called me an idiot.
You have no sense of humor.
That's not a sense of humor.
Yeah, it was a joke.
Buddy, no. I have friends who do stand-up comedy. That is not a sense of humor. To sit there and say on national TV that Americans want a dictator is horrible.
He said it today. I missed it today. Where did he say that today? I'll look for it. Where did he say it? I'll play it. Let me say. I'll play it if I can find it.
I literally saw it just an hour before I seen your live.
Okay. He said America wants a dictator. I'm looking it up on X, and if I find it, I'll play it. Let's see here. No, I don't see anything about it today. I see a lot of people calling him a dictator and saying things like you, but I don't see. If you find it, to post it on X.
Forgive me. I guess no. You're right. The thing that I had said was from a week ago when he said a lot of people are saying maybe we'd like a dictator. That's called
humor.
Now, okay, where's the joke? There's no punchline. He literally just said a lot of people are saying maybe we'd like a dictator.
There's no punchline. The punchline is he's trolling stupid Trump haters like you that get triggered by it.
I'm not a Trump hater, dog. Listen, my point is...
You're not a lover.
The first administration seemed fine. But this administration is changing, and it's so different. I mean, what do you say about
it's awesome. It's a great administration. This is the best presidency ever.
So it's okay to get rid of sovereign citizenship under the Constitution.
Sovereign citizenship? Who's lost their citizenship?
He's talking about getting rid of sovereign citizenship.
No, you said who? Whose
Trump
citizenship?
and his administration is playing with the idea of getting rid of sovereign citizenship.
Of who? Sovereign citizenship. I don't know who is he going to take citizenship from?
People who were born here under illegal parents. That's the way
you're talking about anchor babies. You're talking about anchor babies.
That's what sovereign citizenship is.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, a lot of very smart people that are constitutional scholars believe that.
Dude, don't eat grass. You're a fucking retard.
Oh, he hung up. I did not hang up on him. He hung up. All right? I'm not even going to finish my sentence. But I am going to take a quick break.
Not.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Thanks for joining, everyone. If you're on hold, hang in there. I'll go back to the phones in just a minute. This is something that I've never seen this happen before. 2 U.S. Army officers were arrested for treason. This is nuts. It says here, I've got some video. I want to play it so you can hear it. 2 officers are arrested for violations of the University Code of Military Justice, taking the side of our nation's enemies. Listen to these Army officers as they're arrested and being walked down the hall. Is this the Pentagon they're being walked down? Is this real? I saw this on X. Are these real Army officers? She's wearing the old uniform. They're veterans in uniform. Okay, they're former officers wearing their uniforms that are being arrested. Well, here's the thing. If you're an officer, okay, they can still bring charges against you even when you're out of the service. It's a little different than being enlisted, depending on what you do. and this has happened before, a lot of officers are subject for recall forever, all kinds of things. So just because they're veterans doesn't mean that they cannot bring charges against them, if they so choose. And I got to tell you, we've got a war secretary now, and he doesn't play games. But it's pretty frightening to me. You know, these people, I'd like to know what jobs they had in the Army, what kind of command they had, who their commanding officers were. Because, you know, if you remember, the Fort Hood shooter was Nidal Hasan, Major Nidal Hasan. Remember that? He was an Al-Qaeda terrorist that was a major in the United States Army. And before he was a major, when he was a captain, he had given a speech to a group of officers in Virginia and was saying things like they are, right? Supporting the Islamic terrorist and all this stuff. And Obama was president. They did nothing. And they even promoted him from captain to major. He got transferred to Fort Hood, and that's when he did what it is that he did. Remember that? So I'm curious to know the background of these two officers when they were in the service on active duty, who was president, what their jobs were, what their final... I couldn't see what their ranks were. The video's not that good to see. Let me see if I can see her rank. She's a captain. Okay, let me see if I can see his. His I can't see. It looks silver, so he could be lieutenant, captain, colonel, lieutenant colonel. I can't tell. I can't see his rank. Let me see if they get close. No, I can't see. I can see her. She looks like a captain to me. All right, let's go to the phones. 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Yin from Alabama. I just want to ask, why do you still support a fascist piece of shit who was best friends with the king of pedophilia for decades and absolutely raped a bunch of kids?
I'm not sure who you're talking about.
Talking about Donald J. Trump.
Well, you're behind on the news. There was a big story. Yeah, you're behind on the news. There was a big story yesterday, and I went through. I'll give you just the summary of it. But last night I did an entire live stream breaking down this massive story. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Mike Johnson, dropped previously unknown information about President Trump. President Trump was an undercover confidential informant for the FBI, working with the FBI to bring Epstein down.
And that's why he spent years, nearly a decade, running on releasing the Epstein files, and now that he's actually in office and everyone's telling him to do it, he's doing everything in his power to distract from it and hide it and saying that it's a Democrat vote.
In fact, he had said that the previous administration had filled the files with a bunch of fake stuff, and they just can't release them because they're just not in a shape that they can be released in. Although they have released some information, but this is new information.
Everything they've released is already public information.
Well, I'm sorry,
look, man,
deal with it.
You're supporting a child.
No, we're not. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Well, sorry, man.
Yes, my name is Mark, and I'm calling from Las Vegas.
Okay, Mark in Las Vegas. What's on your mind?
Yes, my name is...
Yeah, you got to turn the volume down. Turn the volume down of the computer. There's a delay.
Oh, I don't have a computer. I was calling you. I was on my other phone.
Oh, okay. Well, turn the volume down on the other phone.
I'm calling to ask you. I don't want to be confrontational like everyone else that you've spoken to. I'm just calling to ask you. Did you ever serve in the military?
That's a very good question. And I'll answer it like this.
Listen.
No, I'm answering your question. Listen to the...
I need a yes or no. Yes or no would be simple.
Listen to my answer. I served in the military for the exact same amount of time as President Biden, President Obama, and President Clinton.
I'm not worried about what everybody else did. I'm asking, did you serve in the military is what I'm asking you.
I said I served in the military for the same amount of time as President Biden, President Obama, and President Clinton.
Is that a simple yes or no, man? This is why people don't want to call in and talk to you. It's a simple yes or no. There's no getting around this. Did you serve in the military, yes or no? It's that simple.
I just answered your question. I guess you're not sophisticated enough to get the answer.
Okay, so why can't you say? Why can't you just say no? Why can't you just say that?
I'm not some puppet to say and dance like you want me to dance. I'll answer how I want to answer.
What I think is so funny about grifters like you and everyone else that's on the internet that wears a MAGA hat is you rile up all these people. You know that Donald Trump was not an FBI agent.
I didn't say he was an FBI agent. I didn't say he was an FBI agent.
You saw this somewhere from some other grifter All you guys do, you prey on weak people. That's what your cult
No, in fact,
does.
I'm going to pull it up. Excuse me. I'm
not.
Excuse me. I'm not going to be barked at. I'm going to pull this up right now. By the way, when I'm streaming on YouTube, I have two feeds. If you're watching the feed that has the green wall behind me, the green screen behind me, where you see the green, there you can obviously see and hear me and hear the callers. But if you want to hear the audio sound bites and see the video, you got to jump over to my other feed. Now, I talk about this a lot to people. I don't watch or listen to a lot of other programs because I don't want other people's programming to influence what I do. I read and follow the news like nobody's business, I'm here to tell you. And I've been doing that for over 30 years, every day. I spend hours a day reading the news and following the news. I didn't say that President Trump was an FBI agent. He was an informant for the FBI, working with the FBI to bring Jeffrey Epstein down. Where I got that from? The Speaker of the United States House of Representatives was talking to this jerk CNN reporter yesterday in the halls of Congress, and Mike Johnson, MAGA Mike Johnson, dropped this huge news. You hear that? He was an FBI informant. Yeah. See, I told you. Now, yesterday when I did an entire program just on that yesterday, and I said I'm going to keep this and play this on every show for this foreseeable future because the liberals, they just don't want to hear it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. This is Zach from New Hampshire. How are you?
All right. What's up?
Hey, quick question for you. So, talking to a friend the other day, they're telling me, if we tariff somebody, they're not a friend, and if we alienate all our friends.
Wait, if we what somebody? If we what somebody, we're not a friend?
Tariff them?
What kind of stupid thing is that to say? What does that even mean?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But, so they take it as if we're applying tariffs, we're hurting relationships with potential military allies.
Listen. The tariffs. Hold your question because I want to hear your question. Okay, but don't forget your question.
Go ahead.
Trump did not. Tariffs are import taxes. Okay, guys. The reason liberals say tariff and not import taxes is they don't want to. They can't get themselves to say something negative about a tax, so they use the tariff word. It's like with abortion, they would say fetus instead of unborn child. So the thing with tariffs, President Trump just didn't go around and start throwing tariffs everywhere. These countries around the world have been ripping us off with their tariffs on us. And what we have are reciprocal tariffs. Whatever a country's tariff is on us is what we have on them. I don't know why they're the ones that were in the wrong, not us. Trump did the right thing.
No, I'm with you.
I'm talking to others in the audience that may not be aware. So what's your question?
So it kind of all goes back to when JD Vance was at the Munich Security Conference. He started calling people out, much like Trump did in his first term, where he went to the allies and said, essentially, you got to pay your fair share in NATO or whatever the case may be. Now you got Starmer coming to visit the United States, and people are online talking about how we're hurting one of our biggest allies, the United Kingdom. And I started doing a little digging into the UK, the military might of the UK.
Yeah.
They've got more admirals than they have battleships. They have more horses than they do main battle tanks.
By the way, I talked about this. There's a guy on YouTube. I've forgotten his name. He's a historian from England, and he did
Mark Felton.
Yeah, Mark Felton. Look this up. Yep. He did a video, I don't know, 4 to 6 months ago or something. The British Navy used to be the thing, man. There are more admirals in the British Navy than they have ships. And that's not a joke. I couldn't believe it. It's fascinating to watch. Mark Felton Presents. I think, is that what the name of his channel is? Yeah. He's very good.
Yeah, I believe I got that as well. So I guess my point is, you've got the United Kingdom, if that's our closest ally and closest military partner to some respects, their nuclear subs have missiles provided and maintained by us. But they've got 11,000 full-time, active duty infantry. I mean, the Pennsylvania National Guard has more than that.
Yeah.
So my question was to you, who do you see as being our most staunch allies? For me, it would probably be maybe Poland and even Japan come to mind, but
yeah.
I was just curious.
Yeah, those are pretty good ones. Poland we seem to be real tight with Poland. Poland and the United States, it seems we have a very similar worldview, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, and Japan, as crazy as that sounds, but Poland, yeah, I'll give you Poland. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was just a question because, you take the U.S., 340 million people, you cut that in half, maybe left and right split, and then from that you take out the older and younger demographic, and maybe you're left with, I don't know, 80 or 90 million right-leaning conservative people. From that, how I don't know, I guess without allies, my question is, if something were to happen where you got China and North Korea and Russia all getting together, it's just a thought that popped in my head.
Well, we really none of these countries have ever been able to fight. We've always had to cover for England, and these other countries. They've never been there for us. They got whooped by the Germans. We had to come in and bail them out. The French started Vietnam. I mean, these countries never really have been much good in a fight.
Yeah, and I know you were talking earlier about stuff going on in other countries, and you got that American tourist in Germany had to stand up for the girls getting assaulted on the train, got slashed in the nose.
Yeah.
You got the mother of 7 or 8 in Italy who had to hold on to the pickpocket until police arrived. So
that's terrible.
Crazy.
It is crazy. It is. Well, listen, great call. I agree with everything you said. And Mark Felton, you should check out Mark Felton anyway. He has a great channel, guys. But this video he did about the British Navy, he's an English historian, having more admirals than ships. It's fascinating because it really goes to show you about, it's a lot about government waste and grift is what it's a lot about.
Yeah, just how far it's fallen, right?
Yep. All right, take care. Appreciate the call. Yeah, check that out. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, hi.
Oh, here we go.
This is Raymond. Tell me, how well do you know the Constitution?
I don't know. What kind of accent is
this?
What kind of accent is this?
South African.
Oh, okay.
I'm a white South African.
You're a what? Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm answering all these other lines. You're a what South African?
A white South African.
Okay.
Meaning, recently I've been given refugee status according to Trump executive order.
Okay.
But the Constitution says there's a certain part, I think it's under Amendment 14. It says, no government or state shall prevent any person from life. It doesn't say any citizen, it says any person from life. Meaning, if someone puts their feet in the country, then they cannot be prevented from
this is okay.
life.
Hold on. I'm glad you brought this up. Okay. No, this is a good thing that you brought up. You're talking about the 14th Amendment. You're talking about birthright citizenship, right?
No, not birthright citizenship. It says any person cannot be prevented from life by any government or state.
Life. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean by that. By life? I don't understand.
Meaning immigrant, illegal immigrant, undocumented citizen, or whomever. The government cannot prevent you from life. The state cannot prevent you from life. A visa is nullified under the 14th Amendment.
I don't understand
the
point.
Slow
down for a second. Because, I heard what you said, but I don't understand what your point is. Because could you sum up what you're trying to say in layman's terms? Because I'm confused.
What I'm coming down to is ICE cannot deport anyone because that's preventing a person from life.
I'm sorry. No, they can't.
No, go and read your Constitution. Go and read your 14th Amendment.
Listen, the United States. How long have you been in America? Recently, with this way, you're in the wave of
12 years. 12, 13 years.
Okay, your understanding of things. The United States has always had very strict immigration laws, contrary to what.
Not always. Not always.
Absolutely.
Because the visa system in the.
No,
hang
excuse
on,
me.
the visa system
I'm not done.
world.
I'm not done talking. The way it used to work. Okay. The great wave of immigration into this country was in the late 1800s and the early 20th century. And there were incredibly strict regulations. They were a little different than today. What they would say is they would have a number on it. Okay, this many Irish could come. This many Chinese could come. This many French could come. And it was strictly enforced. They didn't just let people in. Plus, back then, we didn't have all this welfare that the illegals live off of today. So no, it's a whole nother situation, and ICE can deport, and you cannot be in the country illegally. There's a process to legally enter the country.
Yeah, but hang on. If the Constitution says no government or state can prevent any person from life.
From life?
Meaning
I don't understand what that has to do. No one's losing their life.
No. Not losing your life, prevented from life. Meaning you got the fullest right to work, earn money and everything.
No.
Doesn't matter where you come from.
No, in fact,
doesn't matter where you are.
In fact, First Lady Melania Trump, before she was a U.S. citizen, she had a work visa. For her modeling work, her visa was expiring. She went back to Slovakia and to update her visa before she came back to the United States, or Slovenia, wherever she's from.
Yeah, I'm not talking... I mean, even Melania, a visa is nullified according to the 14th Amendment.
I tell you, this is, I mean, here you are, you're from you're from South Africa. You've been living in America for a dozen years, and you've gotten wrapped up in all this sovereign citizen libertarian BS that means nothing.
It's not sovereign citizen. It's being called a person in life.
No, that's sovereign citizen
talk. Not sovereign citizen.
Yeah, it's sovereign citizen talk. But hey, listen, welcome to the program, and thanks for your call. Oh, my goodness. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Ron. I'm from Chicago.
All right, Ron. Trump's coming. You excited?
Nope.
ICE is coming. Trump's sending ICE to Chicago. Your city is going to be rid of crime, courtesy of President Trump.
For how long? Can the army stay there forever? No. Eventually, it's going to go back to what it was. This is just a show.
Oh, so you don't want to stop crime? You live in Chicago. You don't want the crime to stop? What are you, a gangbanger? Why do you want to live?
Again, I want crime to stop. Hold on, I want crime to stop. But again, the army can't stay there forever. This is just temporary.
Sure they can. We've got to. Sure we can. Why not?
Because it's going to cost a lot of taxpayer money. You really think Trump's going to be there forever? No, that's crazy.
We can clean up Chicago.
You can't station an army in every city in America.
You talk like a loser.
Let me ask you this.
You talk like a loser, so you don't even want to try? Oh my goodness!
Again, I'm great for trying, but again, how long can the army stay here for?
For as long as they have to. For as long as they need to.
What's that? Years? 2 years? 3 years?
I don't
4
think
years?
It'll take once you start picking up these criminals and locking them up, you won't have to stay there forever. The city will.
Criminals are always going to come back. There's going to be new criminals made. It's not like once crime stops completely, then that's it. We live in a utopia.
They're living in it. Well,
that's just being naive.
Chicago is a criminal's utopia where they don't fear arrest. No, don't worry. Trump will take care of it in spite of you.
Let me ask you this. Why isn't Trump sending them to Republican cities? Do they not have crime?
What Republican...
Every city in America has crime.
What Republican...
What's your point?
What Republican city is crime-ridden like Chicago? Give me... What city?
Well, I'm pretty sure Louisiana, the state, is
Louisiana is not a city. It's a state. You said city.
I said a state. That's what I said. Louisiana, the state.
Trump isn't sending any...
It's number one.
It's a Republican state, okay? But there's a Democrat... Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned Louisiana, because it is a Republican state, but there's a Democrat city that's overrun with crime, New Orleans, and President Trump is talking about sending the feds and the Guard to New Orleans to clean up the crime there. It's a Democrat city and a Republican state.
Right. So do Republican states or cities not have crime?
I don't know of a Republican city that is... There aren't... The biggest cities in the country, there aren't very many... What is the big Republican city? Like Chicago, New Orleans. What's the big Republican city?
You tell me.
There aren't any. They're all Democrat. Now, there's there's big Democrat cities inside of Republican states. Like I'm in Florida, but we have some Democrat cities that are crime-ridden, like Jacksonville, Orlando, and stuff. But you're saying
that no Republican cities have crime?
Well, there's crime everywhere, but there's different degrees of it.
Exactly. So the biggest cities are Democratic, which means there's going to be a lot more people. Well, those are the ones overrun with the crime. Well, tell me the name. I feel like Governor Tarkin talking to Princess Leia. You don't like the target? Give me another target. Just name the system. Give me the name of this Republican crime-ridden major city that you want Trump to rid of crime. I hear you and a lot of other Trump haters talking about this all the time. What is the major Republican city that's overrunning crime that you want him to send the National Guard to? Name the city. Is Memphis a Republican city?
I don't know. It's up to you to name the city.
I don't know.
A Republican. We're talking about cities.
Memphis has a lot of crime. I think Memphis is the number one rated murder rate in the country.
This is the thing, okay? There are not that many Republican cities, major cities.
Why not?
I don't know, but they're not. They're all Democrat.
Why do Republicans not win in big cities?
I don't know. Probably, yeah. But my wife just said from the other, because they're crime-ridden. I wouldn't live in Chicago. There's lots of crime. I live in the suburbs where there's no crime.
There's no crime in the suburbs?
Not really. I mean, you might have some. You might find some teenagers smoking a little weed, or or breaking into a car or something. But no one's going to rape or pistol whip you walking down the street.
In the suburbs.
Well, in the suburbs where I live, see, Republicans, we like to live in crime-free areas, so we don't live in your Democrat slums like Chicago, New York, Baltimore.
Where does Trump currently live? Washington, D.C., right?
His residence is actually at Mar-a-Lago in Florida, but he's...
Well, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. He golfs like all the time, so I'm guessing,
that's his home. That's his official residence. But no, he occupies the White House, which is a fortress. It's not like a regular guy.
So Washington, D.C. is full of crime, right?
Not anymore. No, it was until about 3 weeks ago. Trump cleaned up all the crime.
Again, you can't have the army there forever.
In Washington, D.C., they're always there. It's our capital.
Then what's the point of the police?
I feel so sorry for you, because, and I'm going to tell you why. You live in the city of Chicago, which is a very dangerous city. There's a lot of violent crime there, and you are so institutionalized into living in this crime-filled area that you don't even think another way is possible, and you have no desire to live in a city like mine, where no matter what day or what time of day or night it is, I can walk around without any fear. But you're so comfortable living in this crime-ridden city, you don't even want it to get better. It's sad.
I do want it to get better, but what you're talking about is not reality. Eventually, the army will go.
It'll be cleaned up. See, listen, one of the reasons there's so much...
But your idea is once the army comes and they stay there for a couple of months and crime goes away, then that's it?
No, it's not the army. See, this is another thing. It's not the army. The army didn't arrest anyone in Washington. They stayed... In D.C., okay, most of the arrests were made by the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police with federal agents from different federal police agencies as backup. Okay. The Army didn't arrest anyone. They were they were hanging out on the streets just to have a presence. I
heard a rumor. I heard a rumor that they were actually picking up garbage. Was that true?
Yeah, that wasn't a rumor. It was on TV. Yeah, they were picking up garbage in a park.
What a nice time for the Army, picking up garbage from the streets.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Is that what they're going to do in Chicago then? Picking up garbage from the streets?
The Army was there for more of a presence. The police and the federal agents were doing the arresting, not the Army.
Right, so my point is, once the Army leaves and that presence is gone, what do you think the criminals are going to do? You think it's going to be
a lot of the criminals. Right now, what I was talking about at the beginning of this, President Trump said he loves the smell of deportations in the morning. They're going to send ICE to Chicago first and round up as many illegals as they can. Okay,
I agree with that.
I'm
with you on that point.
And a lot of the crime in Chicago is Hispanic gangs, MS-13, the Trinidad guys. So they're going to round them up, okay, and put them in jail. One of the reasons that these Democrat cities, like the one you live in, have so much crime is because the local officials don't police and don't prosecute. All this no cash bail, lenient judges, and all this crap. The criminals have no fear. And if you noticed, in Washington, D.C., there wasn't much resistance from the criminals. They locked up a whole bunch of people. They're going to get locked up. They're going to go to jail, the criminals in your city.
Right. But again, criminality can't be stopped. There's no way, because criminals are always born. You could be a citizen or a non-citizen. You could be illegal, whatever.
This is just
but most citizens are going to pop up.
All right. So let's just not try. All right. Hey, listen. I appreciate the call. Oh my goodness. What a sad man. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, hello?
Yes.
Hi, my name's Jennifer Hoover.
Mm-hmm. What's up, Jennifer?
I'm actually a Republican candidate in Washington State.
Oh,
it's really hard.
Good luck.
It's really difficult over there.
Yeah, good luck.
I know. Tell me about it.
What are you running for? What office?
I was running for governor. I'm going to try a lower position.
Really? Are you you're running for governor?
I did.
Oh, what are you running for now? What are you running for now?
Hopefully, I'm thinking about mayor, and then I want to try a second term for governor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, my question is, what do you think are the most important points to address, in your opinion? Like, how could I win, say, your vote?
Well, I'm in Florida, so.
No, I know. I just meant, it's Washington State is, it's a liberal state.
Yeah, I know. Kerry Lake has a better chance of winning Arizona than you have winning that. I mean, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't try. I mean, look what's going on now in California is about to turn into a Republican state. So anything's possible, but it's kind of hopeless. It's sad.
Well,
It's sad.
Well, I believe in hope. I think you got to keep trying and not give up.
Absolutely. No, I agree. I don't know the local politics. To me, I don't know the local politics, but Glenn Beck and his family are from Seattle. I don't know if people know that.
Okay.
Yeah. But when I think of Seattle, I think not Nirvana and Pearl Jam. I think of a bunch of stoners smoking weed and bongs all day. And that probably is wrong.
Yeah.
But it sounds like
it's not.
It's not. Yeah. Oh my goodness. It's sad.
No, I mean that's what you get when you're there. It's a pretty tough fight.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, it's pretty.
But
difficult.
Anything's possible. I'm in Florida, right? Florida is a strong MAGA state, but it wasn't always that way. This was a strong Democrat state until just a few years ago. So it was a hardcore Democrat state, Florida. So I wouldn't. I'm not saying give up. I'm not like that guy in Chicago, but it's a tough fight. I don't know what the local issues are in Washington State to run on.
Can you give me any good advice in general? Just in general.
To run as a Republican in Washington State, no, I have no advice. Go Trump. Do what I do. Wear MAGA hats everywhere. You wear.
I don't know. I'd probably get beat up if I did that.
Yeah, I wear mine everywhere, unless I go to a restaurant. I don't wear it out to eat, and I don't wear it to Starbucks. I leave it in the car when I go inside Starbucks. But I wear and I don't wear it in restaurants because I don't want to eat spit and phlegm and stuff. But I have no advice. I could make up something, but I just don't know the politics enough. But hey, listen, I appreciate the call.
But is there one last question? Is there anything you're really passionate about in general that if somebody ran, you would say, I'd be more apt to vote for them?
Well, I do like the deportation. Yes, I do like anything that's in Trump's agenda. If I were running, I'll give you. You want some advice? I'll give you some advice. I'm not trying to be dismissive. But if you were MAGA and you adopted Trump's platform, I promise you, there's people in Washington. There's got to be a lot of people in Washington that agree with that. They just feel like they have no one to gravitate to.
Speak up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I would be very, very vocal MAGA.
Okay.
I mean, that'd be my advice. I mean, that.
was almost running against 30 people. There was a lot of people last year.
But why don't you run for like city council or something in your town? Maybe that would be more likely.
Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm picking a lower level. I mean, I get that advice a lot, but that's even tough because
I know a lot of people that have held public office, and I've known a couple of guys that are just idiots, but they get elected all the time to like town mayors and city council, and what they do, I've asked them, how do you get elected? They go door to door. Right. They go door to door and knock on people's doors.
Boom, love it. Yeah,
and the reason
I'm up for that.
And the reason they do that is when people go and vote, when it comes to local elections, they don't know who most of the people are, so they vote for whatever name they're familiar with.
Yeah, no, I do a lot of that. I actually did exceptionally well. Even got some of the Democrat votes just because I'm likable. I'm approachable. I don't hate people. If they're willing to listen, I'm willing to win them over.
Well,
and
awesome.
It does work. I mean, I have to go town to town. I want to do like outdoor park outreach and dancing. I want to keep it fun.
Absolutely. All right, well, listen, I'm going to run, but good luck to you. Good luck to you. Running as a Republican in Washington State ain't easy. If you're new to the program, by the way, guys, make sure that you subscribe, okay? I'm going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, now, before we get back into the news and the issues and your calls, I want to talk about Dr. Appleton and his laser wave pain treatment. Dr. Appleton's amazing. You know, his laser treatment has rid me of pain 7 times, sometimes from injuries, from falls, arthritis, all kinds of things. I mean, and some of these pains, my knee pain I had for over 30 years, my arthritis pain, just a couple of treatments, my arthritis pain's gone. And you know, with the laser treatment, there are no shots, no injections, no downtime, no surgery. Dr. Appleton performs all the laser treatments himself. Not only is it painless, you don't even feel it when it's happening. It's absolutely amazing. And my favorite part is it works. Give Dr. Appleton a call and say bye-bye to your pain. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. All right, so Zohan Mamdani went on CNN. Listen to this. Okay, yeah, now this is, I just want to stop about this with Zohan, his Democratic socialist. He is a multimillionaire. His parents are millionaires. His wife is a millionaire, and his wife's family is richer than Zohan's family. And he married his wife 3 times in a row on 3 different continents. They got married in Queens. Then they got married in the Middle East, Dubai, which is crazy. And then they got married again in Uganda. So he's gotten married on 3 continents, and his family are worth many, many millions. Is there a conflict between being a democratic socialist and a multimillionaire? Look at this, the wealthy. This guy is so rich, and they're acting like he's poor. Ooh, that'd be awesome. Oh my goodness. You know, it's amazing how much he talks and how little he says, isn't it? You know, she never points out that he's a millionaire. You know, and it's insane to me. He is the uber rich, sitting there trying to act like he's poor. You know, listen, I would be so excited with even everything we've been through. I'd be excited if Elon Musk became a billionaire or a trillionaire, wouldn't you? He's already the richest man in the world, and if he became a trillionaire, could you imagine the first trillionaire in the world being an American? I think that's a pretty cool thing. It's nothing negative. It's nothing bad. But here you have Zohan, who's a multimillionaire, married to another multimillionaire. Both of them come from multimillionaire parents, right? You know, and he's living in government-subsidized, rent-controlled housing. So, you know, it's what Governor Cuomo says. Zohan, who's a millionaire, and his millionaire's wife are taking an apartment away from a poor working mom that he pretends to care about. But the question I want someone to ask him, he refuses to condemn the global intifada, right? You've heard this, right? Many times he's been asked. He refuses to condemn the global intifada. September 11th was part of the global intifada. I'd like to hear someone ask Zohan to condemn 9/11. Does he condemn 9/11? I haven't heard anyone ask him. Wouldn't you love that? What do you think his answer would be? I don't think he'd condemn 9/11. I think he would do what he did there. He'd do a dance and talk a lot, but he would never condemn it. I don't believe he would, because I don't think he can with the support he has and with his background. All right, let me get to these two. Here's two. By the way, did any of you guys catch me on Newsmax today? I was on Newsmax twice. It was. I made a vlog of my day. I'll edit it and I'll put it up on the channel soon. But I was on two shows on Newsmax today, and they were back to back. I did a live show, and it was 10 to 3 this afternoon, so 2:50. I was on a live show on Newsmax. And then the show that came on after that, I was on that one, but that one was recorded. So it was like I was on. They say goodbye to me, and then I came on again on the next show. I've never had anything like that happen before. It was pretty cool. And I got a haircut today for the live TV appearance. So even though I'm on, they say goodbye to me. The next show comes on, they say hello to me. I was wearing different clothes, and my hair was longer in the second show. But it was a lot of fun to do that today. The Wendy Bell was the second show I was on. That will run tonight on Newsmax. It'll also be on Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening. So look for Wendy Bell on Newsmax, on the Newsmax website for the time in your time zone, and you can catch me on that. Yeah, 9/11, by the way, was part of the second intifada. All right, here we got two winners. Don Lemon and Joy Reid. I wonder what they have to say. It's got to be, I haven't heard this sound clip yet, but you got Don Lemon interviewing Joy Reid. It's got to be something. Well, they're obsessed. These two, do they think about it? You know, I know a lot of you guys think that MAGA people, we're in a cult. No. Yeah, I wear my MAGA hats. I got a whole MAGA hat collection, right? This is my favorite one, though. I like the Trump 2028 hat. But these liberals, all they think about and talk about is Trump. All right, let's get back to this. Joy Reid being interviewed by Don Lemon. Okay, first of all, we were not at war with Canada. The War of 1812 was in 1814. Okay, we were at war with the British again. Canada was not an independent country, all right? They were still a British colony. So, no, this liberal, I don't know where liberals get their history. You know, this DEI history they get, and we won the War of 1812. Okay, the British did not win the War of 1812. So we were fighting the British, not the Canadians, and we won the War of 1812. Don Lemon here, this laughter he's doing, he's like, you know what he's saying about Joy Reid? She's batshit crazy. That's what he's thinking. He's like, why did I have her on? She's making me look bad. I know all these MAGA people say Joy Reid's nuts, but I just thought they were hating on her, and he sees that she really is a complete lunatic. And this laughter, he's just trying to humor her, right? He's just hoping this segment's over quick. In Canada, where they have gun control? Oh my goodness. She's really. Renee just gave a super chat. Thank you so much for that. Greatly appreciated. She's lost her mind. I mean, it's really a sad thing, isn't it? If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. And if you'd like to support my content, thank you for that super chat. You can also become a Patreon supporter. There's a link in the description of this episode and every episode to my Patreon page. And if you become a Patreon supporter, you get access to commercial-free editions of all of my podcast episodes. And if you become a top Patreon supporter, you get your name up on the screen here like you're looking at right now. And you also get a live on-air thank you shout-out from me on every episode if you're a top Patreon supporter. So the names you'll hear now are my top Patreon supporters, and I want to thank them all. SFjr, Christine, ETW, Chuck, Pamela, Nick, Wesley, Doris, Heather, David, Maria in Texas, Alice, LeeZep, Shawna, George, Brandon, John, Frank, Dale, Tina, David, Laura, Rob, Wes, Sue, and Janice. These are my top Patreon supporters. Thank you all. And again, there's a link to my Patreon page in the description of the episode. Or you can go directly to the website, patreon.com/Real Brian Craig Show. Patreon.com/Real Brian Craig Show. All right, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, all right? And click that like button and share the program on your socials if you don't mind. I'll talk to you next time. Thanks for listening.